Just loading to Facebook. Okay, here we go. Welcome everybody to Essential Oil Training with Melody Watts. I am super excited to talk to you guys today about head tension, the different types of head tension, and how you can use oils naturally to avoid, sorry for my messy background, but I'm trying, my light's not working. I want to make sure you guys have a good visual here. Okay, so let's first talk about the different types of head tension. This is actually the first thing that I used essential oils for, was for head tension. And I think that there's so many different types of triggers that I'm going to go over just a few types so you really understand what would I reach for if I had this type of head, head tension. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a food head tension. So you've eaten something, or let's say you're totally fine all day, and then in the afternoon you eat something, and then gosh, within an hour, half hour later, you're like, oh, this kind of hurts, right? So the first thing I would do is start taking Terrazyme with your meals and PB Assist with your meals. That is going to really reduce the inflammatory response in the gut, which is directly affecting the neurotransmitters in your brain and causing inflammation if it's a food head problem, okay? So make sure that you are taking your food enzymes, that you're also taking PB Assist. Some of the things that can trigger these are things like gluten, GMO oats, corn, soy, eggs, any kind of protein, if you're not breaking it down properly, can trigger that head pain that you might get after eating. So I would for sure recommend taking that as prevention with your meals. Now, if it's too late and you've already done that, one of the things that happens when you get head tension from food is that it releases a lot of histamine in the gut, which again directly causes inflammation in the brain, which causes that head pain. So what I love to do to reduce histamine in the gut to help with that head pain is Copaiba capsules, or you can do a veggie capsule of like 6 to 8 drops. And then I also do Roman chamomile. And these two really reduce that histamine in the gut. I would also take the turmeric duo, which is also going to get in those neurotransmitters. So this is a head pain that's caused by inflammation in your lower intestine from eating. Okay, so you want to do everything you can to reduce the inflammation in that region in your body. You could also take the enteric coated peppermint capsules. Okay, the next thing I would do for immediate relief, just right in the brain. Okay, so we talked about if it's caused by food, take Terrazyme, take your PB Assist, take Copaiba, take Roman chamomile, and take the turmeric duo. Okay, that's going to help immediately. Also, topically, you can do Digestin and Neroli over that ileocecal valve, which is like lower right below the liver, right below the liver. You can use that Neroli, and that's really, really phenomenal on the digestive system and helping reduce some of that pain. So you might notice if you get head tension and you're bloated, it's probably caused by food. And so that is a good indication. Now, it's always smart to get a food sensitivity test. You can see what's triggering it. And then you might do something like a GX Assist cleanse. You might take celery seed, which is going to really help with those digestive threats. So you can do some things, even rose essential oil, to help with some of those digestive threats that are maybe making it just uncomfortable for digestion and maybe causing and triggering some of those issues. And that is probably the most common way that people get stress in their head, is from eating, and just kind of some of those things out there. So like GMO foods that are really contaminated with glyphosate, which is the herbicide, kills healthy bacteria and it feeds bad bacteria. That's what GMO foods do. So keep in mind, as organic as possible. And then for some people, they just need to avoid dairy with protein in it. Okay. Maybe they'll be okay with like a dairy fat, but maybe not a dairy protein. And that's what you have to look at. Okay, so the next thing is the next type of head tension you could get is from stress. So if you can identify what's triggering this, then this can really, really help you. So if you know that it's triggered by stress, a couple oils that I think would do amazing, first right off the bat, is adaptive capsules. Okay, because that specifically reduces cortisol and it increases your ability to cope with stress. It has GABA in it and other neurotransmitting oils that are just going to help bring it down. You can also use adaptive over the adrenals. Here's why I love adaptive for stress head pain, is it has neroli, magnolia, lavender, rosemary, spearmint, wild orange, which are all, it also has sweet gum. All of these oils are adrenal supporting oils. The rosemary helps with the corticosteroid response in the body, and all the other oils, like these flower ones, like the lavender, the magnolia, the neroli, they all help reduce stress and cortisol. So applying that on your adrenals is going to really help with that head tension. The other thing you can use is Aroma Touch on the back of your neck, which also helps with circulation and lymphatic drainage, as well as reducing that it gives you a healthy inflammatory response. So as you're using lavender or you're using Aroma Touch on the back of your neck, that's more for nervous system and stress type of triggering, right? But then also it has like basil in it, which also is an adrenal supporting oil. You can also use Past Tense. That's another oil that's specifically for tension, head pain, okay? Head tension for stress, caused by stress. You always, every time I have a issue with head pain, okay, temporary relief of head pain, I always do frankincense under my tongue, and I always do copaiba under my tongue, because it directly, and you can even do a little on the roof of your mouth, it directly just gets right in there energetically, and it gets into the bloodstream really fast and goes straight to the brain. So I always use those under my tongue. And then I always take a little glass of water, because dehydration can be a big cause of head tension. I take a little glass of water and I use lemon essential oil in the water, or under my tongue, I'll do lemon and drink a full glass of water. This is going to help with any type of head tension you get, because it's going to help hydrate you, which is almost always a contributor, okay, towards head tension. But it's also going to help increase your ability to absorb water, because somebody might be drinking water all day long and be dehydrated because they're just not absorbing and utilizing that water well. And we have found that lemon essential oil increases your ability to absorb and utilize your water. And just that alone is going to help with that process, as well as it helps the production of glutathione because of its limonene content. So you can use grapefruit, tangerine, and lemon. Those are kind of the big ones. Grapefruit and tangerine are actually higher in limonene, but I like lemon because it tastes good. And generally when someone is in pain, I like to just get the lemon in because it's easier to get down. But you can certainly do that with any citrus oil. If you didn't have any on hand, any citrus oil is going to help with that glutathione, and it's going to help with utilization and absorption of waters. The reason why that glutathione is so important is because, like I said, most head tension has a dehydration component to it, and it's because of the bombardment of environmental toxins. So because of this bombardment of environmental toxins, the chemical load in our body causes like havoc in our ability to absorb our water, because it's hard on our kidneys, it's hard on our bladder, it's hard on our liver, and it just kind of throws it away. And so using the citrus oils just to kind of flush and help absorb is really, really great. I use citrus oils every day just for that glutathione flush, okay? So the other thing I would do, so if somebody is dealing with this head tension, I talk about, I find out the trigger. Was it stress related or was it food related? And then I always do the frankincense, the copaiba, the lemon with some water. And then topically, I'll do either deep blue or peppermint, Aroma Touch on the back of the neck, even some frankincense on the back of the neck. I even put right in that little base of your neck, right here where that rivet is, I'll just pour some deep blue, like 3-4 drops right there in that base between the occipital bones. And I'll do some frankincense and some deep blue right there. And I'll just kind of rub it in. And I do this all the time at trade shows, and people are like, whoa, that totally cleared me out. I need to get some of this. And it's amazing how quickly it works. So a lot of people will be like, I'm going to go for the peppermint, which is great for topical. But if you can work on that head tension from the inside out, you're doing really good. Now, there also might be head tension because somebody has a subluxation, or what chiropractors call a misalignment in the spine in that cervical area. So sometimes what I'll do with people, I'm not a chiropractor, but I'll just kind of go in there and just kind of massage that deep blue and that Aroma Touch on. And then I'll just recommend that, hey, you might really benefit from seeing a chiropractor because you feel really locked up in here. And I'll just put it on and let them know that it would be a really good idea for them to see a chiropractor, because chiropractors, and I can say this, they help with headaches, okay? So if that's something that's chronic, it increases your body's ability to deal with stress. It reduces the sympathetic response and it increases parasympathetic response. So it increases your body's ability to heal when you're under chiropractic care. So make sure that people that they're chronically getting this kind of stuff, everybody should be under chiropractic care. but especially these people that are really symptomatic, they should definitely get checked on that. So again, whether they've been in a car accident or whether they were born, they can get checked for subluxation, because 99 out of 100 babies are subluxated at birth just through the birth trauma. So I think that's a really important aspect for people to understand. I use a tonal form of chiropractic called the integrator or torque release, because that works best with my body, but sometimes I also get adjusted Gonstead. There's a few other types of chiropractic that you can get and check out, diversified. There's just a lot of different techniques. So find a chiropractor that really works well with your body and understands the way that you work. But I really think that is a really important issue to face when you're dealing with, headaches. Okay. So there are, of course, other types of triggers, lack of sleep, hormones, things like that. And so if it is a hormonal head tension, I look at the phytoestrogens. Of course, I always do turmeric duo, adaptive. The bone nutrients are a really great thing to use if you've got head tension triggered by hormonal issues, because calcium, magnesium helps soothe that. It helps soothe soft muscle. Magnesium in itself is great for head tension. For stress. It helps with sleep. So if this is something that somebody is like, I think it's hormonal, then I would be using the bone nutrients. Of course, use the frankincense copaiba, lemon. I always do frankincense copaiba and then wash it down with some lemon water. And then the Clary Calm, just right over the ovaries, are going to be super helpful for helping those types of head tension. So I think I covered quite a few different types of triggers. If anybody wants to chat over any questions, if you feel like I've missed anything, let me know, chat it over, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. There's, of course, emotional headaches. I look at that as a stress headache, but if somebody's going through something really, really stressful and it's super emotional, I'll definitely do the adrenal supporting oils, and of course the turmeric duo, copaiba capsules, anything that's going to just reduce that inflammatory response in the body. But you might put console on the heart. So if they're going through something that's really stressful or they're grieving, I might do console, rose on the heart. I might do breathe essential oil to just help with emotions. I might do some balance along the spine, frankincense along the spine if it's a stressful thing. They're dealing with an emotional crisis, right? So people also can get blood pressure headaches, head tension. Pretend I didn't say that. So they can also get these blood pressure. So any oils that help support healthy blood pressure levels, like Yarrow Palm in a capsule, turmeric duo helps so much with circulation, frankincense. So any of these oils that are going to help with circulation are going to be a great one to look for. I remember at one time my sister was getting these. If she would work out too hard, she would get like a workout head problem. And so she started using Aroma Touch and the oils for circulation, and she no longer gets those. So figuring out what the trigger is going to be super helpful. And then going, okay, what oils do what and what oils support what body system. And that's really going to help you. So I hope this was helpful for everybody. If nobody has any questions, I will go ahead and close out the recording. These are now on YouTube. So they're on Facebook. I'm going to be emailing out the recording. I've been super busy, so I haven't emailed. If you're registered and you didn't get the recordings, I'm going to send out 3 recordings this week. Hey, if you missed the last 2 weeks on respiratory support and you're not on Facebook, then and then that can help. Ooh, Tracy, thank you for pointing that out. She says celery seed for blood pressure, to help with healthy blood pressure levels because it helps with the kidneys. That's a really good one, celery seed. So keep that in mind as well for people that have some of these blood pressure issues. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful for you. This will be on YouTube, Melody C. Watts on YouTube. It'll be on Healthy and Wise with Melody Watts Facebook page, and then I will email out the YouTube recording so that those of you not on YouTube have an opportunity to see this as well. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Have an awesome week.